of the Russian Federation, His Excellencies Head of States, Excellencies, on behalf of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, allow me to express our appreciation to His Excellency President Putin for inviting Malaysia to participate into this forum. This marks Malaysia's first ever presence in BRICS Summit. Situated in the center of Southeast Asia, Malaysia's historically strategic positioning is a metaphor for our ambitions. To be a linchpin between East and West, but also North and the Global South. One that is driven by the tenets of clarity, commerce, and cooperation. Excellencies, today, these tenets are at odds with the changing global landscape. We see a world that is retreating inwards, a world that is ravaged by humanitarian crisis and climate change. Instability has undermined global supply chains and trade, but it has also undermined the moral positions we advocate for. The pinnacle of this is in Gaza. 383 days on, Israel has committed what can only be described as war crimes. Crimes against humanity and a genocide of the Gazan people. Over 40,000 Palestinians have been killed, infrastructure decimated, and the remaining few are left in starvation. The vast atrocities committed are a moral imperative for an equally firm response. Malaysia strongly calls for an immediate and permanent ceasefire and to allow unrestricted humanitarian access to Gaza. We will continue to stand with the Palestinian people shoulder to shoulder until they are given the right to self-determination of a sovereign Palestinian state. Yet, Israel is not slowing down. They have now set their sights on Lebanon, instigating an ongoing military conflict that disregards any form of international law. This negligence risks destabilizing the entire region into a wider conflict. We strongly condemned their attack on the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon headquarters, which injured several peacekeepers. Currently, Malaysia has our own detachment of peacekeepers in Lebanon, consisting of 883 personnel who are stationed in Tibnin and Maracah. There must be adequate reform of the United Nations Security Council to ensure Israel stops putting lives at risk. Excellencies, Gaza has opened long overdue debates on other fronts. The countries of the Global South have continued to be marginalized and remain underrepresented. The rise of protectionism cripples smaller countries from getting ahead. Barriers to development finance impede the building of vital infrastructure, and the growing global debt has become a chokehold to growth. For Malaysia, BRICS is not just a rejection of these constraints, but it is also the solution. As the world becomes multipolar, BRICS has become a critical counterbalance. If member countries can embrace seamless economic linkages, the potential is exponential. Strategically, the push for multilateralism will create more robust value chains, shielding each of us from external shocks. By promoting greater economic integration, developing countries will have more opportunities in infrastructure investment, technology transfer, and capacity building. These are the same principles of inclusivity and sustainability that Malaysia will promote. As we take the chairmanship of ASEAN in 2025, we see tremendous synergies between ASEAN and BRICS. We want to showcase our regional leadership in semiconductors, energy transition, and Islamic finance. Indeed, Malaysia's application to BRICS is centered on building economic partnerships, strengthening trade ties, and expanding our growth potentials. Excellencies, whether it is ASEAN or BRICS, there is a commonality in our worldview that as some parts of the world turn inwards, we remain steadfast and we will continue to engage openly. That as ASEAN chair, we are crafting a new position for Malaysia to play in, one that is rooted in economic diplomacy, where our centrality and neutrality bridges ASEAN and BRICS, and where we become a focal point for countries that want to push back against the global trend. Thank you very much.
Большое спасибо. Географическое положение Малайзии, конечно, очень важно, но не менее важно, какими темпами развивается ваша страна. Вы обратили внимание на долг, на растущий долг стран глобального юга, так оно и есть. Но я хотел бы обратить внимание на то, что растет и долговые обязательства развитых экономик. Просто фокус заключается в том, что, используя свое монопольное положение в сфере экономики, мировых финансов, в значительной степени эти